That was literally what I thought was going to happen, especially in like a group therapy session. I definitely thought, oh, we're just going to be all talking about our sob stories, and I'm going to get triggered by this person's story. I'm going to get triggered by that person's story. I'm going to be triggered by my own story, and it's just going to be a cry fest. And want to talk today about why I was averse to counseling at first. I know a lot of widowed moms are averse to counseling. Not only do we have the reason that we don't have time, right? But we also have the reason that there are circumstances in your life where you have to decide what to do. And counseling doesn't really seem like it's going to give you a doable response. It's not going to give you tools to what to do about your feelings. There's a lot of stigma about counseling and therapy that make people think we're going to be sitting around and talking about our feelings. And so that's why I was averse. I was not interested in talking about my feelings. I did not feel like that was going to be productive. I didn't feel like that was an environment I wanted to be in with other people just sitting around crying. And that was literally what I thought was going to happen, especially in like a group therapy session. I definitely thought, oh, we're just going to be all talking about our sob stories, and I'm going to get triggered by this person's story. I'm going to get triggered by that person's story. I'm going to be triggered by my own story, and it's just going to be a cry fest. And with the amount of snot that I'm dealing with, like when I cry, it's ugly, and anybody got time for that. So what changed my mind is finally breaking down. And after I had tried everything else, I mean, everything. I tried hypnotism, I tried yoga, I tried, working out, I tried everything. Joining different churches. Like at that time, I wasn't really open to it. I was just looking for a fix. So it did not work for me. So I went to therapy, and there were tools. Like for example, there's one that's going around right now called the 5 whys, where you basically ask yourself, what you're feeling, and then you drill down 5 times asking yourself why, trying to get to the root of the answer. But literally the technique is about breaking down overwhelming multi-feelings into one singular feeling that you can put an action to. You're feeling anger, you're feeling frustration, you're feeling grief, sadness, you're feeling resentment, you're feeling alone. There's like all of these feelings in here. And it sort of feels like it doesn't really have a word for it. And what the exercise does is have you break down, well, why do you feel this way? Duh, because my husband died. Well, why else do you feel this way? Oh, well, because, I feel like it's not fair that I have to do XYZ by myself, or it's not fair to my kids that I have to do blah, blah, blah. And then you break it down some more. If it's unfairness that you pretty much break it down to, then unfairness is something that you can probably work on. You can say, okay, well, how can I make this fair? Okay, I can start thinking of who can help me so that it's not all on me. Or, whatever my sons are missing, if I feel like it's something that's not fair to them, they don't have, I can start thinking and brainstorming about how to even the playing field for them and say, okay, well, what mentors, what support, what relatives, what godfathers. That's when you actually start to begin to create an action to address your feelings. So that's something that came out of therapy. And that actually inspired me to not be a therapist, but to be a coach. Because if somebody has gone through the therapy piece and they have had a chance to emote, to sit in their feelings, to do the work that it takes to be able to be open to change, that's when a coach come in and says, okay, now we can work on what to change. We can work on what to do, and we can work on how we're going to get from where we are to whatever the end result is for that change.